Last week, the FBI said an outside party had approached them with a way to break into the phone without the need for Apple's cooperation. It now appears that method has worked. And so a court case that had the US technology industry united against the FBI has for the time being gone away.
We the people of the United States.
Now this debate moves into more uncertain times. The US government has knowledge of a security vulnerability that in theory weakens Apple devices around the world. To protect its reputation, Apple will rush to find and fix that flaw. And assuming it can do that, this row will go back to square one. Dave Lee, BBC News. Last week, the FBI said an outside party had approached them with a way to break into the phone without the need for Apple's cooperation. It now appears that method has worked. And so a court case that had the US technology industry united against the FBI has for the time being gone away.
We the people of the United States.
Now this debate moves into more uncertain times. The US government has knowledge of a security vulnerability that in theory weakens Apple devices around the world. To protect its reputation, Apple will rush to find and fix that flaw. And assuming it can do that, this row will go back to square one. Dave Lee, BBC News.
The high-stakes showdown between the FBI and Apple is off, at least for now. A third-party hacker hired by the U.S. government unlocked the San Bernardino killer's iPhone. Without Apple's participation, the government is dropping its legal case against the tech company. So clearly, there will be more fights between the tech community and the government at some point. Maybe Apple, maybe another company. Cybersecurity expert Morgan Wright is with me now. Morgan, great to have you back. Some say the U.S. government hired an Israeli company called Cellebrite to hack the phone. So from a cybersecurity perspective, what do you think of the government using a third-party company?
Deirdre, it's done all the time. It's done. The FBI doesn't make its own radios. They don't make their own cars or their own guns. And a lot of the equipment they use for sensitive operations are built by a lot of the names that are familiar, not Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics. So it's not unusual. In fact, a lot of the software they use to conduct their routine forensic examinations comes from the private sector. So I'm just shocked that they didn't do this the first time as opposed to going through this whole court issue. I mean, the Cellebrite is an Israeli firm well known for mobile forensics. I'm surprised they didn't go to them first and figure this out.
Okay, so that's good and clear. And the first time I've actually heard that this happens all the time, because there are a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, this is a third party. Why couldn't the U.S. government do it itself? Does that mean that we're weaker than they give the impression?
No. Look, you have to do this. Look, the FBI is good about creating requirements, saying, here's what we need. But look, do you think the Pentagon builds their own Joint Strike Fighter? No, that's built by Lockheed Martin. They don't build their own stealth fighters. They didn't build the
I think going outside of the U.S. also, Morgan.
Yeah, well, and there is an issue now with some of the procurement. So, but with an Israeli firm, at least it's somebody who's friendly. I would have been more worried if they'd gotten the software from Russia or China. So there's probably, but the other thing too is Cellebrite provides a lot of the software that Apple uses in their own stores to transfer data between phones. So Cellebrite is a known entity to Apple. This is something they should have seen coming.
All right, Morgan, I have to have you back because I want to talk about what is likely to be the next fight. As we know, Silicon Valley versus the U.S. government, far from finished. In the meantime, Morgan, thanks for the time. Morgan Wright joining me there, cybersecurity expert.